about the next section of this, how this class works, the communication section. Let's scroll down a little bit. And the first thing I want to point out is the class news. The class news is another forum, but it's a special forum. It's a one-way forum, and one that I use to send you messages and tell you what's going on in the class. Let's actually have a look at the class news. I'm going to scroll back up to the top of the page, click on the home page, and then if you look under communications, you'll see class news. Now, so far I only have two new news items posted, one about the orientation last Friday night, and another one about our textbook. We talked about that earlier. If you click on the textbook item, it tells you what my message is to you. And notice that the books will not be in the bookstore until the first Wednesday of class. So there was some kind of mess up, and here's the bookstore price, and here's the Amazon price, but there's the Amazon used price and the half.com used price. You might want to check on those. Whatever you do, get it ordered right away. We need that book. Okay, so that's how I get important stuff to you. I'm going to go back to the home page. Then I'm going to scroll down here, back to how this class works. Click on it, and continue. The next thing I want to talk about is well, first of all, let me go back to the class news. Let me point this out. Every time I send you a class news, you will automatically get an email message with that class news in it. And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, you cannot unsubscribe to this one. You can to most of the other ones, but this one, I insist that you receive these mails to make sure you get these important messages that I post. Okay, now we're going to talk about email. I would like to reserve email for personal questions. If you have a question about the course material, then what you need to do is post it on the help questions board that we talked about earlier. But if you have a personal issue like grades, absences, or illnesses, then I want you to send me an email. Here are the email guidelines. There are three things you need to remember. One, in the subject line of your email, it's very important that you put in the word someplace CAOT 133. I've got my Outlook set up so that it has filters on it, and if it doesn't see the class number in the subject line somewhere, you can put CAOT-133, I need to talk to you about such and such, but that deletes the part about the CAOT 133 must be in there, or my filter is liable to put it in the trash bin and I will never see it. Make sure you put enough detail in the body of your email so I'm able to understand your question and respond to it. This will prevent us from having to go back and forth with messages until we get things straightened out. Finally, it's very important that you sign your email with your full name. Many of you have very cute email addresses, but they don't tell me who you are. So sign your full name, first and last name, to every single email message that you send me. I will respond to your email within 24 hours, except for maybe weekends and holidays. I do have a life. But if you've not heard from me by then, send me the email again because something's happened and the mail didn't make it to me. Remember to use good netiquette. You can look that up in your email messages. And finally, respect the privacy of your class members. You have available to you on their profile everybody's email addresses. Please only use those emails for class purposes. Besides email, we also have the capability of instant messaging. Well, not quite instant messaging, but certainly messaging within Moodle. You can use that if you want. I don't check it too often, but anytime I'm in the website and you see me online, you can send me a Moodle message and I'll be glad to chat with you. Now, besides that, I use the regular messaging services. I use AIM, MSN, and Yahoo. And so if you want to send me an instant message on either of those, you're welcome to do so. Finally, as you saw in the syllabus, I maintain virtual office hours. This is really cool. Let's have a look at that. I'm going to scroll back up to the top of the page. I'm going to go back to the class resources, and then I'm going to click on virtual office hours. I have a system that we use. It's available to all of us in the community colleges that allows us to talk on a telephone and at the same time share a web space to resolve any problems that you have. Works really cool. So I have these recurring office hours every Wednesday morning from 8:30 to 9:30. And in this little listing of the details of how you dial in on a telephone and how you connect on the internet to join this meeting. So you're welcome to join me. That's all you have to do is follow these details. It goes onward from here, tells you how to set up your stuff and everything else. So please read that and be prepared for our very first one, which is this coming Wednesday, the 25th at 8:30. I'm going to go back now to the How This Class Works page. There it is. And I think we're finished. I think we've covered everything here. So now let's have a look at our very first week of class.